Are you serious right now?
Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we've got the MCFIVE disaster, the MCFIVE circus. Honestly, I was told by about 4 or 5 different people, go over there and check out what they've been up to lately. If you don't know anything about them, go check out a playlist that I've compiled of the different videos I've done on them. But they are like freaky. Like, there's just so many things that they do, from, you know, losing their children at Disney to throwing their kids' hoverboards in the pool, to actually kind of terrorizing them by pranking them, and just all this various different stuff. I've made videos on it in the past, but today they took it one step further. They've really been trying to really get in the views and clicks. So they basically were doing one of their like infamous pranks that went wrong. And whether or not you believe their stuff is real or not, I believe it's not real. However, that then doesn't mean that I don't think these types of pranks, they must have an emotional impact on their kids. Some of their kids are too young to understand. And, you know, it must be quite difficult living in that house where you feel like your whole family are just out to get you. It's a really odd dynamic. But basically they had a video of their dad kind of fake falling into the pool while sitting on a chair, and then one of their kids jumped in to go and get him, and they titled the video something like, you know, my child saves dad from drowning, or whatever the case may be. Anyway, so we're going to break that down and the sequence of events that happened before and after, and, you know, just give it a little bit of thought. Even though I am pretty convinced that all of this is staged, I don't think he really was tied to the chair. You know, I mean, their audience is majority children, apart from a few creepy weirdos, which we're also going to get into. They like I've already said, the impact it's going to have on these kids just growing up in that environment is just so strange. So yeah, we're going to break down a couple of their newest videos.
Oh, it didn't work.
What are you doing?
You've been bad. And no, don't start to feel bad for him. If you do, remember this.
Seriously, you know why?
So Kelly the mum and their middle daughter, they were basically pranking their dad, wanting to get him back because of an incident where the dad actually threw the hoverboard into the pool in a very serious display of what the hell is going on. This was an older clip. This was a previous clip. It's just mad. It's just weird. I have absolutely no idea. But this is the reason why. This is the reason why they are pranking him. Because, yeah, he threw the kid's hoverboard into the pool in a previous episode. Although, tell you what, right, after watching that clip back, because this isn't the very first time a hoverboard has ended up being thrown, you know, launched in midair, thrown in the pool. I can't really tell if he actually is throwing it. I mean, I don't think it's real, but whatever the case may be.
The vial.
It lost its battery. We need to charge it.
It's not going to charge.
Not my fault.
Anyway, so back to this video. What ended up happening was they were all having a big water fight outside, and the dad falls into the pool because he was sat on the chair. Was he tied onto the chair? Whatever was going on. And he then, of course, fell into the pool, and they then have their child jump in and get him. The mum, you know, mysteriously manages to set up the camera, you know, even though her husband is like drowning in the pool, and then jumps in after. Anyway, the whole thing extremely staged, whatever. But the problem I have with this, which is what some people have an issue with, not all, because bearing in mind this is children and we're going to read a few of the comments, it's the fact that they have a really young audience and they're promoting this. They're always promoting stuff like that. Even the clip that I just shared with you where the little girl rode the hoverboard into the pool, like that clearly happened because you can see it. Whether or not the dad did actually throw the hoverboard, I actually really don't know. However, they kind of give off this impression that this is real and that it's just ultra dangerous. Like, I don't know, and maybe this is just me being quite precious, but I just wouldn't be advertising that sort of stuff to young kids. And to also name it something like that, like my my 9-year-old saved dad from drowning and whatever. I'm like, who comes up with these thumbnails? Like, this is so weird. Like, this is so weird. I mean, look at this one comment. The kid is so sweet. She immediately jumped in without being told to. I know, she loves her family. I'm just like, these are children. These are definitely children. The mum really had to place the camera to get the video first, really. The kid just jumped in, but she had to get the moment on camera, so she let him stay like that for some time. Unbelievable. She could have just left it quickly, but I can see she actually placed it. It's like, I have a feeling these people are starting to now realise that none of this is real. But this is kind of the point I'm trying to make with these videos I do about them. The fact that this is going to have some weird impression on the kids that watch the videos, but no one's thinking about the impressions it's going to have on their actual kids, one of which has additional needs. And then their other kid is quite young. And then the middle child, who they call in it, is basically the one that they use all the time to do their stunts. These kids are really young. They're not going to understand this. Honestly, you read comments like this all the time. It's like they're just now realising that it's not real. It's like, if you guys are thinking that, what the hell do those kids think? It's just weird. And the fact that you'd even clickbait something like that just is even stranger, especially to a really young and impressionable audience. So a lovely subscriber of mine basically sent me this, and it was a post on the MCFIVE Circus, looks like Instagram or somewhere. She was basically saying happy birthday to her mum. And her mum is the one who does the moderating of the comments. Now, I saw this one comment, which is not a very nice comment, directed at one of their kids. And I'm going to read it to you, even though I really don't want to read it to you. I'm just saying, I'm like, her mum's not doing a very good job of moderating those comments, because comments like this are getting through. And let me tell you, if she is moderating the comments and she sees these comments happen often, it's just sickening. This is like, honestly, I'll read you the comment. If your kid makes it to America's Got Talent, have her wearing a string bikini and barefoot stand on a warm, oozing, very slow sinking, shoulder deep, extremely slimy quicksand cake, or get in a dunk tank full of warm, thick, clear slime. Someone called David Matthews wrote that, and I'm assuming he's meaning that in a sort of weird, getting his kicks kind of way. And I just want to make this point clear that this is exactly the reason why I have such a big issue with kids being shown in bathing suits, swimming costumes, or just generally exploited online like they do. If her mum moderates the comments and I've seen this comment, then I don't even want to know the types of comments which she is filtering out. And I just want to say shame on them, because if this kind of comment is not new, then really quite shame on them.
I got you an icy.
So for the next part, because of course with this family there is always a part 2. The dad is basically seen going to the shop, and he goes and picks up like their kid's favorite thing, which is an icy. I think it's a bit like a slushy, and is it an apple fritter? Whatever that thing is, it looked pretty good. Anyway, he's off to go and do that. Of course, it's all big and mysterious. Because he wants to play a prank on his daughter for her playing a prank on him yesterday. Like I say, it's all pranks. They do pranks all the time. And once again, it's ultra confusing. And the way in which he got her back is just so disgusting. It is just so harsh. So harsh. Like, you couldn't pay me enough money for someone to pour like a slushie over my head. Because even though I know it's like ice and colouring and whatever, that stuff is still sticky. I don't care. It is. I've had a slushie. I'm well aware. It's just not very nice. And I just can't believe that they thought this would be a good idea to film and also do it in front of your other kids. Weird.
Emily pranked me pretty hard the other day. I'm still not over it. Why do I need 2 ices? Or an apple fritter? Boom. You're welcome.
Why are you doing that?
She wanted to do pranks.
You made it sad. Honey?
Yes.
I'm gonna get you back.
It was just her crying and screaming, saying I'm cold. Like, it invokes an emotional response in me. And even if this is all staged and whatever, I shouldn't be feeling that emotional response to something like this. I just think, like, if that was real, you'd call it abusive. Like the and I don't like flinging that word around, but the amount of things that their dad, has done, like cutting down the silks, and like, the mum gaslighting the kid, saying one thing, like, if you watch a lot of their videos, you'll guess it. But because I think it's just really weird, like it's inside. I'm trying to get my thoughts across. It is giving off this idea that this kind of stuff is normal. It's like promoting this kind of behavior to a really young audience, and it's not fair for the kids that live in that house to have to deal with this all the time. Kids that don't understand the internet and why they do what they do. I mean, they obviously make a lot of money off of this because their house is nice, their car is nice, they get a hell of a lot of views, they're really big over on TikTok as well. Like, money's rolling in, but at what cost? Like, their stunts are getting more and more and more ridiculous, and I don't mean like their acrobatic stunts, I mean their YouTube stunts. Like, well and truly, what is this thumbnail? It's dead. And it is their middle child, who they call an it. Anyway, it's all ridiculous. What kind of a thumbnail is that? And of course, they're going to be making a part 3 to this whole saga. Like, you just don't need a part 3. At the end of the day, real or not real, obviously, at the end of the day, it doesn't make any difference if it's real or not real anymore, because you're promoting this kind of behaviour to a really, really young audience. And not only that, you're terrorising the kids that live in that household. I just want there to be an end to this, because it's so ridiculous. And I say that all the time, but it is. I don't think I've got any more to really add to this. If you are curious about the MCFIVE Circus family, then go check out the playlist that I've got. No one else really covers them, and I think more people really should, because the more people are not talking about them, the worse their antics are getting. And I don't think it's fair on the kids. I don't think it's fair on the kids that live in the house to have to witness this kind of behaviour all the time. Do you know? I just don't think it's very fair. But anyway, have a wonderful day wherever you guys are in this world. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. And I will catch up with you guys in the next video.